being here on Sunday morning. I'm going to have my sister, Dr. Amirah Jackson, on here, professor at Oklahoma University. Amazing. What's up, sis?
What's up, bro?
What's up? Good to have you on this morning. So excited to have you on this morning. Thank you for being available.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you're here to kind of give these tips about dental care, dental hygiene. I mean, I know for a lot of people, it's kind of sometimes maybe like an afterthought, you know? But with you here, I know you definitely have raised the awareness in our family, and just watching you grow and grow and grow, it's just been an amazing journey watching you go from dental hygienist to dentist to dental school to college professor. It's like, hey, girl, do your thing, you know? I mean, I always knew you was going to be awesome at whatever you did. I mean, you was always making straight A's and stuff, you know, watch you come up. But, I knew that you would be able to reach, do whatever you want to do. But the thing I love the most is your passion for service, your patient-first attitude, like how much you care, you know?
Yes.
It's amazing. All right, so let's do this. I like to kind of jump into a question right away for people. So let me ask you, so what's, in your opinion, kind of like the number one problem people have when it comes to their dental care?
Well, I would say there's two things that relate to that question. The first thing would be neglect, and the second would be access to care. So dentistry for most communities is considered a luxury. So a lot of people neglect going to the dentist because they think that that's something that only people who are affluent should have access to and things like that. But the real situation is that everyone deserves to have dental care. And so they're creating places that can afford more access to care now, because access to care is the second problem. A lot of people don't know where to go or don't know where in their community they can get dental care done. And so by having more places become available, that's one of the biggest things that's helping too with people's problems with dentistry.
Wow, I didn't really realize that people kind of see it as a luxury or something that's, kind of only for affluent people. That's, wow, you put me on to something new right there. I guess I never realized that people don't really have the access that they deserve to be able to even make it a priority.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest cases that in the dental community that's caused the push for access to care was DeMonte Driver. DeMonte Driver was a 12-year-old who had a tooth abscess that didn't get taken care of, and he ended up passing away. And so that's one of the cases that we use to kind of give us an example of why access to care is so important for children and why access to care for everyone is important.
Wow. All right. Whew. Yes, access to care, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me ask you this. So what do you feel are like some best practices that people should have when it comes to their dental care?
Well, one of the best practices is trying to get in a daily routine of flossing and brushing, especially flossing. If you're gonna neglect flossing, then that's a thing that people usually say. You brush the teeth that you want to keep, or you floss the teeth you want to keep. And so if you're not doing both of them, then it's not really helping you. You can brush every day, and some people might get away with it, but flossing is truly one of the keys to your dental care as well. Removing the particles from in between your teeth will help you. That's where a lot of people get cavities between their teeth. They don't necessarily get them on top of their teeth because they may be brushing that really well.
Wow, I didn't even know you get cavities in between. I thought flossing was for your gums.
Yeah, flossing can help your gums, but it also helps remove the pieces of food or particles that are between your teeth that can be feeding the sides of your teeth bacteria. And so in that case, you can get cavities that form between the teeth as well.
Wow. Do you think people have I know you said people have hard time having access to care. Do you think people have a hard time getting insurance?
So I think some people don't really take into consideration that they can get dental insurance. There is insurance available, especially when it comes to your children. There's definitely access to insurance for them. So I think for adults, like I said, it becomes more of an idea of a luxury. If you really didn't have much dental care as a child, you don't really know how to create that habit going into for your children. But what we're trying to do now in the generations that are coming through dental school, and what we're trying to teach them, is how to let people know that there is dental insurance available. There's more places where you can have access to care. February coming up right now is Children's Dental Health Month, and so there's so many free events that's going to happen that you can have access to care.
Wow. So it's Kids Dental Health Month coming up in February, and there's going to be like a lot of opportunities for people to be able to get their kids. Wow, we timed this perfect. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, look out into your community. Children's Dental Health Month is February, so there's lots of events. Most universities have what's called Give Kids a Smile Day, where they'll bring them into the school. They'll take care of maybe one or two dental issues and be able to give them a good referral to who they can follow up with for care. Yeah, it's a great month for children's dental health.
Nice. All right, so let me ask you this. What kind of got you into the dental profession?
Oh, man, my grandma, when I was younger, I used to watch like her have to take out her dentures and wondered what they were really. I really wanted to know, like, what are dentures? Like, why do you have those? And so when she kind of gave the story in the background about periodontal disease, once I got into dental school, I realized that within the African American community, periodontal disease, which is the disease of the gums as well as the bone health, is pretty prevalent. And so back in our grandma's generation, you know, they didn't have much access to care, so they would just be having their teeth taken out, you know, to try to alleviate the problem. And so that's pretty much what happened to my grandmother. She lost all of her teeth in like her early 30s and had dentures. And so it really put a fire in me to figure out how can I be a part of that solution once I got into my college years. So I became a hygienist first, and then I enjoyed being a hygienist, but I wanted to do more, so I went on to become a dentist.
Well, you always had that passion. I mean, kind of like, like tell us a little bit about your career path. You said you were a hygienist, then you became a dentist, and let's talk about where you are now.
Oh, yeah. So I did dental hygiene first, and then continued on and got my doctorate. And then now, after doing a couple years in private practice and my residency, I decided that I want to teach. And so now what I do is I work at a university, and pretty much I work with students and teach them how to become dentists, showing them how to do procedures, walking them through procedures with their patients, and then also giving lectures. I've kind of narrowed down my niche to be removable prosthodontics, so I work more with, ironically, dentures and partials. So, yeah. So it kind of come full circle to the whole reason why I started, and where I'm at now is kind of rooted in my grandmother.
That's so beautiful. So what are some, like, fun dental facts people don't know that will help their overall health by focusing on good oral care?
I think one of the fun facts is that you just become more confident when you have the kind of smile that you want. So it's like, going to the dentist can really help you achieve that, even if you don't have to get any work done. There's nothing better than that first little lick you can do across your teeth after a cleaning, knowing that they're nice and smooth, So it's like, that's one of the best things that you can do. I think the other part is that a lot of people have a fear of the dentist, but the dentist just wants to help you. We love our patients. Like, we come to work every day ready to help. And so I think that's one thing that you have to kind of let go of within the community, is being scared of the dentist. Like, we absolutely are human beings. We don't want to hurt you no more than you want to be hurt by us. So we just love being able to be there for you. So I think that's another fun fact, that people don't realize, that we love our patients. So it's like, come on in so we can take care of you. That's all we want to do.
Oh, love it. So something I kind of picked up from you that I didn't realize that kind of made me step my game up was the connection between your oral health and, like, other parts of your body, like how things that start in the mouth can affect the other parts of your body. Can you explain about that a little bit more?
Absolutely. I think I'll swing back a little bit to the case I was talking about with DeMonte. DeMonte Driver was a 12-year-old who had an abscess in one of his teeth, and the abscess in the tooth ended up spreading what's called systemically, and that means into the rest of the body. And so once it spread into other parts of the body, it actually caused him to pass away after trying to save him with a few surgeries. And so I think people don't realize is that what you introduce into your mouth, you're introducing into every part of you. And so you have to be able to take care of your overall health. And one of the ways to do do that is being involved in your dental health. Like I said, flossing is really important because when you leave those particular particles and stuff between your teeth, it's right by your gums. Your gums have lots of blood vessels and things with them that can cause those particles to be drawn into there as well.
Wow. Yeah, like I'm telling you, that was something that was like kind of eye-opening for me. Was, man, like I really need to make sure I'm brushing my teeth all the time because it can go the rest of my body. It's not just about bad breath or not just going to bed after some dessert or something, and it's not that big a deal. Like it over time can compound and make sure that you got to be thinking about all of that. So let me ask you this. So what's like the best routine for your kids, like a brushing routine that you can get your kids on?
I think traditionally what they try to tell you is the happy birthday song twice or some small little rhymes like twice to kind of sing with your kids to kind of entertain them while they're brushing. Another good thing is now they have these electronic brushes that are really well that children can use. They have tunes in them, and originally when electronic toothbrushes came out, they were really expensive, but now they have ones that are more cost effective that you can use. And so I would recommend that with children. But children is just about making it fun, making it seem like, this is going to be, and giving them some independence, which is what a good part of the electronic toothbrush does. It allows them to feel a little bit more independent in the process of taking care of themselves and fun.
So morning and night, like when
this is always the fun part. People just want to wake up and get their smile looking right, but no, you want to brush at night too. So you want to do morning and night, and especially at night. At night, you're not talking, you're not really moving around. The saliva in your mouth is not really flushing out things. And so if you don't brush before you go to bed at night, it allows those particles to kind of dry up and sit on your teeth. And so you don't want that to happen to you or your children or nieces and nephews and things of that nature.
No, definitely. So for us, is it the same for adults?
Yep, same for adults. Adults want to do at least twice a day, morning and at night. Definitely flossing. I would say flossing at least once a day, especially before you go to bed.
Nice. Mouthwash? Necessary? Optional?
Mouthwash is pretty much optional. There's so many different types that are available. Usually I recommend the non-alcohol kind. There's some that alcohol can get a real burning sensation, which can deter people from wanting to use mouthwash. With children, I do recommend the Axe mouth rinse. It has a fluoride recommendation in it, and so it really helps kind of with anti-cavity activities as well.
Nice. So tell me about your passion for teaching. Like what inspired you? You said you had a passion to go into teaching after you were out in doing your private practice and residency. So what kind of like sparked the teacher in you?
I think what sparked it was just kind of looking back over my career. When I was in hygiene school, when I was in dental school, I tutored a lot of my colleagues, and I really got into the passion of wanting to share the knowledge that we were learning, and also just making sure that people were understanding what we were paying so much money to go to school for. And so when I really sat down and looked at my career, that's what makes the most sense to me. It's what I love to do. I love sharing knowledge. I love making sure that people are gaining an understanding for what we're talking about. And so I love teaching. I could go all day talking about this because teaching is just a beautiful element of life, just watching people become educated from not knowing anything about a tooth to knowing everything about a tooth, from not knowing how to manage a patient at all to being able to manage 2 appointments in a day. So it's just it's a really fruitful, rewarding profession for me.
So like what's like maybe the number one thing you run across, like when you're treating patients or you have a day in the office or a month in the office, what do you find that we are like collectively doing like the most wrong? Like what are you seeing the most of, kind of?
Wait, repeat that last part one more time. Sorry.
Yeah, like what do you see like the most? Like what are we doing kind of collectively as like a people, like the wrong? Like when you're in your practice or when you're kind of looking at the schedule of what's going on today, what do you kind of get the most of? Like cavities, root canals? Like what are people kind of what do we need to step our game up at the most?
Thanks for repeating that. Yeah, the biggest thing is we see a lot of cavities, and the cavities just come from the neglect. And so I think the biggest thing is starting to actually put into your routine, taking 2 minutes out your morning, 2 minutes out your night to just make sure that you brush and floss your teeth. It saves you a lot of trouble on the long end of things, you know. I see root canals sometimes, but not as prevalently as we see just people that need basic fillings done.
No, I feel you. I think, like, you know, financially is kind of where, you know, the biggest point is for me, for people, because I think we don't realize even, like, how small habits build into bigger situations, you know. So you just described where you can do 4 minutes a day. And sometimes I remember somebody saying one time, it's like, it's so simple you can't do it, you know.
Yeah.
2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the night, like you're saying, and it could down the line, you know, save you thousands of dollars on a copay or a private payment that you have to make on a dental problem, you know, 4 or 5 years from now, you know. And sometimes people say, like, you know, that future pain, you know, doesn't really motivate people. But I think in this case, something as, you know, permanent as teeth and the cost in the future is worth the 4 minutes, you know?
It definitely is. I mean, the last thing you want to do is experience dental pain and then take it seriously, you know? I would hope that you want to take care of the problem before it were to ever happen. You know, that's what happens with some people that come in. It's their first dental, you know, they're having their first toothache, and the toothache is so bad at this point that they do need a root canal, or that they do need a really large filling or something of that nature.
Yeah. And I think we made a good point, too. I've seen you do a lot of work with kids, like talking at schools and doing, like, the free events for kids to get them toothbrushes and toothpaste and stuff. But I think, you know, as parents, you know, if you're a parent, you know, your kids' teeth are, you know, in your hands. And it doesn't matter if it's just the, you know, the non-permanent ones that are going to fall out, you know. Even once they pass, like, 7, they start getting those, you know, permanent teeth. You know, it's your responsibility to kind of give them those habits, and it's going to save you money too, because you got to take them to the dentist and pay their bills. But just in general, like, helping them make sure that they're able to keep that smile for a long time, because like you said before, like, having that smile, it's confidence. It's you know, it's a feeling of, you know, knowing that you can, like you said, lick your teeth after a cleaning and feel like, you know, empowered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I'm telling you, you know, February is Children's Dental Health Month. Now that I've told you about it, you'll be shocked to see how many advertisements will come up in this month, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, she just mentioned that. I'm like, yes, it's a big month for dental health for children. And, I mean, it is the adult's responsibility, and a lot of that also comes back to the nutrition as well. You control your child's diet, so, you know, making sure they're not constantly having, making sure that they're not constantly having candy and different sodas or juices and things like that. You know, switching up their diet, too, sometimes is very helpful as well.
Good point. Ooh, good point touching on diet. So, like, tell me something good for our teeth, bad for our teeth foods.
Good for our teeth, bad for our teeth food. You know, the biggest thing is not really good for our teeth, bad for our teeth, it's frequency. So if you're constantly eating gummy bears, if they're constantly having gummy bears or constantly sipping on a juice or constantly having some kind of really sugary item, then that's worse than if they just had it once with dinner or a dessert after having a nutritious dinner, you know, something like that. You can have the bad things, you just don't want to have them often. And that's where it creates the problem, when it's constantly being reintroduced and not being brushed or flossed away after you've had it.
Kind of like those desserts that you have after, and then no night routine before brushing. Before going to bed.
Exactly.
Exactly. Night after night after night.
Exactly.
No, definitely. All right, so any other great tips that you want to leave with us? Anything that you want to say kind of just from your own, I know I've been asking a lot of questions, but is there anything that you kind of want to express yourself?
You know, I just want to touch back on nutrition one more time. I think for children, that's one thing that we really have to start to help them with, is being able to put access to things that's not going to put them in a disadvantage so early on. I think that access to care is starting to become more prevalent. So I think, just paying attention to what dental offices are in your area and trying to stop by and doing the younger rather than older. You want to try to get your children introduced at a younger age so that they're not fed all the stories at an older age to where they're scared to go to the dentist, and then here they are 18 and need all the work done in the world, you know what I mean? And now they don't have insurance anymore. And so it's just, I think that dentistry is a very wonderful profession. Most dentists are here to be able to help you and do everything to make you in a better position. And so I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to share with you all today, and I'm glad that my brother is doing all these high-value conversations to feed such wonderful knowledge to you all. I've been listening in, and they're great, so I'm grateful I had an opportunity.
No, I'm glad that you're here. We're going to have to make sure we have you back because it's about to be Kids Dental Health Month, so we'll come back in February, and we'll do some tips like, again, for kids, for people that couldn't be here today, and kind of keep getting this message out, because I think the more that we let people have access to you and come to the dentist here for some Q&A, right, the better it'll be for them, because maybe they, like you said, they don't have access to care. They don't have a person that's giving them the comfort level that you're providing today. So being here and seeing more of you and kind of having these conversations with you, you never know who's going to be sparked to have the comfort to now take action and change habits and get fresh people to hear, the great insights and knowledge that you give. So we'll definitely do this again.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm down for it. Let's do it, bro.
All right, cool. I'll see you later so we can watch some football.
Oh, sounds good.
All right, love you.
All right, love you too. Bye.
All right, bye.